What is good, people? So I thought I would make this video in celebration of my new presets that have just launched. These are the presets that I've collected and created over the 5 or 6 years of my entire photography career. I know you guys will be able to use these and create some incredible stuff. So go to the link in the description and check them out. I've made this video so I can teach you guys how to become a professional photographer and give you some tips on how you can turn it into a career. I hope you guys learned something and I hope you enjoy. What is going on, guys? Nightscape here. I am back once again, and today I'm coming to you with a different piece of content from what I usually create. Today I'm going to be telling you guys how to become a professional photographer, or at least give you some tips and pointers on how you could potentially pursue photography as a career. Before I start the video, I do want to say I know that I have not uploaded to the channel for over a month. Me and the boys just got back from Switzerland, and that has been probably my main focus for the channel. At the moment, I'm trying to push myself with filmmaking as much as I possibly can, and to get that level of quality, it's just really hard to upload consistently to this channel. So I do apologize, but trust me, incredible content is coming very soon. Stay tuned. Also, I've been working on another project, which is probably going to be the most important thing that I've ever made. I can't wait to share it with you guys. It's going to be great, I promise you. If you don't know who I am, my name is Harry Gallagher. Most of you know me as Nightscape. I'm a freerunner, photographer, explorer, adventurer, and I've been doing photography and filmmaking for about 5 years now. If you are the type of person that likes to be hands-on, you're very creative, you like to build things and make stuff, but you're not really good at the conventional arts like drawing or painting or anything like that, photography could be your potential path. I was the exact same. When I was young, I loved building stuff, I loved being hands-on, but I was never good at the conventional arts like drawing or painting or anything like that. And then when I discovered photography, it was a way for me to still have a creative output. And since I made the decision to pursue photography, I have never looked back. I think there's a lot of misconceptions when it comes to photography, that you need the best kit, the best lenses, the most expensive cameras, the newest technology. Yes, sometimes it does require us to have the best tools for the job. Most of the time, you can still get really good at photography with quite a budget setup and minimal costs. Since I made the decision to pursue photography and filmmaking as my career choice, it has literally taken me around the world. I've been able to work with some incredible companies. Some of the doors that is open for me have been life-changing, literally life-changing. A lot of people don't know this, but before I actually pursued YouTube, my main goal was to become big on Instagram via my photography. I spent about 2 years posting on Instagram all my photography and just building a following like that. Eventually, I realized that I needed to create a fan base, and that was when I started making video content. But initially, photography was how I started everything. I'm not gonna say that by watching this video, you're instantly gonna be able to go and become a professional photographer. Photography takes practice, and that is the most important thing. Photography is a craft, and it's something that you have to be willing to put the hours in. I know of so many people who've bought cameras, saved up money, or got cameras as presents, and the moment that they try to learn, they get overwhelmed by the settings, the shutter speed, the ISO, and then eventually they just put their camera in the corner and it ends up just collecting dust. I myself have spent countless days, nights, mornings, roaming the streets of London, traveling to random parts of the UK just to practice photography and learn how to use my camera to its full potential. Don't expect to buy your first camera and instantly become one of the best photographers in the world. It doesn't work like that. It does not mean that you cannot get to that level with practice. It does come with time, but trust me, it goes quickly, and before you know it, the work that you're producing is professional standard. If you're willing to put in the hours, there's nothing to stop you from getting incredible results. Initially, when you first get into photography, I remember when I first picked up a camera, I was so overwhelmed and confused by the ISO, the aperture, the shutter speed, and I think that is the thing that scares most people away. What I would advise is learn how a camera actually works. Research the mechanics of how a lens works and how the aperture works and why it does the certain things it does, how aperture affects light and the focal ranges. Do your research and learn science behind it. Once you do that, All these things will make so much more sense. It stops becoming just numbers on a screen and you start actually understanding how the camera works and what settings you should be using to get the best possible image. I'm not gonna go through exactly how to use the settings in this video. Trust me, there are so many tutorials on YouTube. I'll leave some in the link in the description. What I would advise is make sure you learn the three main ones, which is ISO, shutter speed, and aperture. Going back to the point I made about having the most expensive kit, yes, it does help to have the right tools, but the expensive kit will come later in your career. What you need to focus on now is your skills. You can have the most budget setup and that is what is gonna allow you to perfect your skills before you move on to the higher budget cameras. I always say it is not the camera that dictates your work, but the person using it. I know people who have £3,000 setups and people who have £500 setups, but because the person with the £500 setup has a better skill set than the person with the more expensive kit, they always produce better quality work. Again, it is not about the camera, it's about the person using it. Another thing is to never allow a lack of equipment to stop you from creating. So many people don't create what they want to be making just because they feel like they don't have the right equipment. Don't let it stop you. Use what you have, use your tools. The expensive equipment will come in the future, I promise you. Again, if you're willing to put in the hours, no matter what, if you have a setup which is worth way less than most photographers in the scene, with your skill set, you will be able to produce content that is comparable to theirs. On the topic of setups, I am currently using a Sony A7 III. I'm using it right now to film this video, but here is a picture of the camera that I'm currently using. I actually only have two lenses. I've got the 50mm, which I'm using right now on this camera, and I've got this Samyang 40mm wide angle autofocus, and I've lost both the lens caps. Another thing, you are going to lose lens caps. I am so bad with losing lens caps, like so bad. If anyone has any solutions for me to stop losing my lens caps, please leave a comment. Batteries are also so important. Trust me, you do not want to be in the middle of a professional gig and you run out of power. Always have more batteries than you need. I have 5 of these. 5 would probably last me 3 to 4 days of shooting, but I charge them every single time I go out. You never ever want to be without juice. Always overcompensate for batteries. Chargers. Dual charger. Buy a dual charger. Trust me, don't waste your time on a single charger. Buy a dual one, charge 2 batteries at once. SD cards, this is pretty standard. Everyone knows about SD cards, literally just SDs. I usually use 64GB ones. I don't like to have like 512GB ones, which a lot of people do. I like to be able to have a few different ones just in case I lose it or something happens. I don't lose so much footage. These are 64GB SanDisk SD cards, and the case, this is literally an £8 case from Amazon, water resistant and shock resistant. One of the best investments that you can make for your job. Or you could get the new Supreme one, which just dropped. I think it's like £100. Hard drives are another necessity for photography and filmmaking. I use Lacy. These are shock resistant and water resistant, I think. They've never failed me and they're just what most photographers use in the scene. Headphones, these are just Beats headphones. Yeah, I use them to listen to music whilst I edit. And then I have my laptop, which is where I edit all of my work. Editing is genuinely one of the most important parts of photography. I'm actually gonna run through how I edit my photos later on in the video, so stay tuned. Just quickly, I want to show you guys what I use as my first camera. My first camera wasn't a DSLR, it was a bridge camera. Don't remember the exact name, but I'll try and find it on Google. And then I saved up my Christmas money and I bought this camera. Wait, hold up. This was my second ever camera. It is a Canon EOS 600D. And look at this bad boy. It is absolutely destroyed now. But this was my baby back in the day. This was literally the camera that I used to film my first YouTube videos, all my first photography jobs. Everything that I did was on this bad boy camera. So if you scroll back far enough in my Instagram, you'll see the photos that I took with this camera. Go try and find them. The camera that I'm using is probably more for video, to be fair. If you are looking to shoot more photography, then there are other Sony models that you can look at. Honestly, the most important thing is to do your research and find the camera that has the settings that match your needs the best. Becoming a successful photographer. I always get messages from people that say, how have you managed to get recognition for your work? And I always say the most important thing is to differentiate yourself. You have to innovate and you have to be creative. It is okay to be inspired by photographers and by other people's work, but don't go out there and copy other people's photos. Just because you saw someone do something on Instagram doesn't mean you should go out there and recreate it. Yes, be inspired, but if you truly want to set trends and change the game, you have to be innovating and being creative within your own work. You have to be producing stuff that nobody's seen before, and that is how you're going to differentiate your work from everybody else's. When everybody else is doing one thing, look the other way and try and find a way that you can do it differently. You need to be pushing photography into a place that it's never been before. That is truly how you are going to gain the recognition that you deserve. Being a photographer means that you are an artist, and art is an expression of yourself. You need to be able to communicate a message through your photos that when someone sees them, it makes them feel some sort of emotion. That is what art does, and that is what makes art truly special. And doing that is what is going to allow you to leave a legacy and make your mark. Change it up, switch it up, be creative, and most importantly, have fun. Another thing is that you need to find your niche. I found my niche in city photos and rooftoping photos. That was where I found I worked the best and I produced the best work. Once you find the niche, you have to stick to it and make sure that you become the best at it. Do everything you can to become the best within your niche. You can do this through portrait photography, landscape photography, city photography, nighttime photography, whatever type of photography you specialize in, dedicate yourself to it and make sure that you're the best you can be at that specific niche. That is exactly what I did, and that is how I created an audience and a fan base that loved urban city rooftoping photography. Build a fan base of like-minded people, and that is how you grow. Word of mouth spreads. People tell each other who have the same interests, and that's just how it works. Most importantly, make sure you're having fun whilst doing it. If it makes you happy, make sure you just focus on that. If you're doing a type of photography that you don't really enjoy it, look, sometimes you have to do it for professional reasons. Maybe you're getting a check from it. Look, it's fine to do. Just make sure that you try your best to channel your energy into the photography that you truly enjoy. I have a few things that I feel I need to have to create the best shot that I can make. These things are location, mood, and generally clothing. That is if I'm using a subject within my shot. Because of the type of photography that I do, it is so important. As I said, I've spent so many hours searching my city, just walking around London till the early hours in the morning with my friends, just out there searching for new locations, searching for different places to explore, adventure, and searching for the best places that I can get for the best shots. Obviously, I'm not saying go out into London and break into a construction site. Please do not do that. Once you have found your location, you need to just take a second to evaluate your surroundings and see how you can use that spot to its best potential from the best perspectives and the best angles to get the best possible shot. When I first get to a spot, for the first 10 minutes, I won't even pick up my camera. I'll just walk around the spot, look around, see how I can use all the different variables and aspects of that spot to make the best possible composition. Using the skylines, maybe there's like a bar sticking out from the building that I could stand on and match me with the skyline, stuff like that. You just have to use it the best way you can. It is a tool at the end of the day, and you need to work out how to use that tool. Mood, honestly, a lot of that comes down to the edit, but there are so many small details that you need to include in the image initially to be able to portray the message that you're trying to portray. As I said, with clothing, that could be so important. If I have a subject within my shot, I need to make sure, I don't know, say I'm doing an urban city shot, 90% of the time I'll have the subject in a blacked out outfit, maybe with a face mask on, that sort of thing. And if my subject isn't in those clothings, I will do whatever I can to make sure that I get them looking the way I need to. I've had so many times when I've literally swapped clothes with my friends. I've said, yo, like, give me your black hoodie, give me your jacket, just so I can be able to portray the mood that I'm trying to portray within my photos. And then, as I said, moving on from that, the rest is basically down in the edit. Without further ado, I think it's time that I show you how I edit my photos. Let's do this. Right, so here we are on my desktop. I am using a Mac for this, but you can use a PC. Regardless, you will still get incredible results. First things first, one of the main reasons that I actually made this video in the first place was to announce the launch of my brand new presets. You can find them in the link in the description at my website, nightscape.london. These are the exact presets that have helped me get my work to a professional standard over so many years, and they've allowed me to grow my fan base, gain recognition, and turn photography into a career. I would very much recommend making a small investment into these presets. They will allow you to get your work to a professional standard where you yourself can start to make money with your work. I've got a few different packages here that are tailor fit to the kind of photographer that you are. I've got the Nightfall package, the Modern Explorer package, Digital Traveler, and City Portraits. Or you can make slightly more of an investment and get the entire package. It will be cheaper in the long run, and it will allow you to edit photos across the entire spectrum of photography. As I'm launching them today, they are half price, so go to the website now, claim your 50% off, and make the investment that will allow you to take your photography to the next level. The link is in the description. So once you downloaded these, there will be a tutorial video in the file which will show you how to install these onto your computer. Then you want to go to Lightroom, and this is where the magic happens. So what I've done here is I've got a collection of some of my favorite photos over the years. These are the raw images, completely unedited, and as you can see on the left, there are all of my presets right here. So this is the entire package. You've got City Portraits, Nightfall, Digital Traveler, and Modern Explorer. What you're gonna wanna do, once you bring your photos into Lightroom, just hover your cursor over the presets, and what it does is it will give you a preview of how that preset will look on your photo. Obviously, some of the presets are just not gonna work. As you can see here, Nightfall, this preset is supposed to be for nighttime photos, so it really doesn't apply to a daytime shot like this. What I'd recommend for this photo is probably a preset from the Digital Traveler package or the Modern Explorer package. Let's go over to Modern Explorer. I think those will be the best ones. Yeah. See, I like this one, but I also really like the colors that this one gives. So I'm gonna click that one. And honestly, when you use these presets, the most important thing is that this isn't gonna be the final edit. You are gonna have to make a few small tweaks depending on how you want the photo to look, but this is gonna give you such a good head start in getting the quality that you really need in your photos. So back to this photo, I've chosen to go with Modern Explorer number 5. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna bring the exposure down a bit, bring the shadows up slightly. What you're basically trying to do here is just play around with the tabs to get the perfect balance of lighting, color, and white balance, etc. to the point where you're just happy with it and the photo gives off the mood that you want to portray. Honestly, I'm pretty happy with this already. Yeah, I'd like a little bit more color in there. I'm pretty happy with that photo. Let's look at the before and afters. Look at the difference in that. The tones are looking incredible. The colors are looking amazing. The oranges just come out perfectly. That is something that I'd be happy to upload to my Instagram, and I'm sure my fan base would love it. This is a shot that I took from Dubai around 3 years ago when I went to Dubai. I think for this one, it's gonna have to be, it's a nighttime image, so I'm definitely gonna have to go to the Nightfall collection and choose something from, oh my God, that looks good. Whoa, okay, hold on, let's go through some of these. I think this one though, yeah. This gives the Gotham vibes, which I'm literally trying to get with my photos. This is so nice. The blues and the oranges in this just look insane. Wow, okay, so honestly, I'm happy with that. I would upload that to Instagram right away, and that's literally taken me, what, a minute to edit. Let's look at the before and afters and look at the difference in that. So flat, so boring and dull, and then you look at this one and it just gives you that energy of Gotham above the city. It's incredible. So again, it's a night photo, so I'm gonna go to Nightfall. As you can see, when I hover over this one, it is extremely blue. The reason for this is because maybe when I used the preset, it was for a camera where the white balance is slightly different. So don't worry, when you click on this photo, it's so easy to change. All you wanna do is go over to temperature and just pull it over slightly, and that will bring all of the colors back to how they should be. Now, I think the skin tones here are looking a bit red, so I'm gonna go down, go to red, and I'm gonna bring those reds down a little bit, the purples down slightly, and I think I'm gonna bring the exposure up a little bit as well. There we go. Again, that is looking great right now. I could do a few more things, but I'm loving the look of that. Before and after once again, and look at the difference, guys. So for this type of shot, it's daytime. I would suggest using either the City Portraits or the Digital Traveler. I want this to look quite gritty because it's quite an urban shot. Portrait 5, that is already looking great. I'm gonna tweak it a little bit, change the white balance. And yo, that is looking, yeah, that is looking cool. Look at that. before and after once again. And that is how simple it is, guys. As I said, it's so easy. Obviously, you guys have to put in the leg room to go and get the photos, but I have personally put in the leg room to create these presets for you. Obviously, you don't have to use these presets if you don't want to. You can learn this skill on your own, but as I said, it takes years and years of practice. When I look back at the first edits that I did as a beginner photographer, I almost cringed because I just didn't have the knowledge about how a photo should look. They were either over edited or too dark, or the white balance was wrong, the colors weren't right. These skills come over time and it just takes practice. If you do want a bit of a more depth tutorial about Lightroom, I will leave some links in the description below. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed it, please leave a comment and let me know what you guys think. Once again, my new presets are out right now. You can go to the link in the description and pick them up. Stay tuned for my new video from Switzerland coming up very soon. Also, I've got some big projects in the pipeline. Stay tuned, guys. I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.